professor, I will test you in the worst way. Don't bring a Scantron, pop quizzes all day. Cause of our chemistry, we do biology.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber die trying. You see the thumbnail, man. Why college football makes so much money. So shout out to Dr. Thunder, Iko Gummian. I be messing stuff up. We're talking about the negotiations and Deion Sanders on Case Closed. Catch it out every Sunday, 3 p.m. Central. But bringing up college football and Deion Sanders leaving, Coach Prime leaving Jackson State for Colorado. And one of the things that we were talking about was money. And so for me, I want to make a video about why college football makes so much money. It's because, simply put, baseball isn't America's pastime anymore, it's football. And college football has very high profitability with low overhead. Because in college football, the ticket prices are just like the NFL. So think about that. If you talk about revenue, if your school is popping, you probably got a stadium from somewhere to 60 to 100,000 that seats 60,000 to 100,000 people. And the same price you would pay for a Rams ticket, well, since the Rams won the Super Bowl, it probably went up, but a Chargers ticket or a Giants ticket or Tampa Bay Bucks ticket, Philadelphia Pittsburgh Steelers ticket, Philadelphia Eagles ticket, that's what you're paying for a college ticket. So imagine, I've been in the stadiums. I think it was UT Texas. I think that one holds like 110 or held like 110 at the time. So imagine 110 at an average $75 to $100 a ticket. 110,000. Average of $75 to $100 a ticket. What you think that's hitting for? Now, the other thing, winning, like, people want a winner. And it doesn't matter, in college sports. If you have a winner, people are going to gravitate. But football is one of those things where if you have a great football team at any time, it really sets you off. Talked about the University of Miami. That school was kind of like Stanford academically. And then it became a football juggernaut. And it basically helped build a city because it drew a crowd. The crowd always came. They came for everything. It brought people to the beach in Miami more because it was Miami. But think about that for other places. Why are people going to Idaho to see Boise State? You see what I'm saying? Why are people going to South Carolina to see Clemson? Why are you going to Athens, Georgia to see the Georgia Bulldogs? They're in these towns where nothing's there. Back in the day, shout out to O'Shea, man. O'Shea keep doing your thing. We had a brother pill and we were talking about sports. And I was talking about why Floyd Mayweather made so much money in boxing. And I was saying that, Floyd had nothing to compete with. There's the Raiders are there now, but when Floyd Mayweather was boxing in Vegas, there was no basketball team. There was no football team. WNBA came later on, and if I'm not mistaken, the hockey team came later on. But basically, Floyd Mayweather 2 times a year created a Super Bowl in Las Vegas. So you got people from all over the world coming twice a year in Super Bowl record numbers. So you generating a lot of money for the city. That's what college football is. Hotels, restaurants, what do you call that? Car rentals, clothing stores, apparel. And if you buy it in the stadium, they're going to supercharge it up, right? And parking, right? So it's like every few weeks, if you got a good football program, everybody loves it. People can't wait to be at that school. There are great institutions in the United States of America, academically. But unfortunately, because of our love for sports, nobody care about your school really if the team ain't popping. And here's the other thing. What you're trying to do with these schools and these programs, this is why recruiting is so heavy, is because when you get greatness to come to your school, it changes the dynamic financially for that school for years. Years. That's why people recruit so heavy. Think about it. When Michigan had Charles Woodson, do you think about how much money that generated for years to come? Y'all looking at Coach Prime going to Colorado. Colorado ain't been good since they won a national championship in the late 90s, early 2000s. I want to say late 90s. Cordell Stewart and Rashawn Salam. But I'm sure they saved the good. They made good investment moves financially with that. You know what I'm saying? So when you think of all these schools and these programs, y'all don't think, you got to think about, think of a major school and you'll think of a major football player and think of how they were packing the house. Whether it's a small school, whether it's a big school, when you get greatness in your school, it generates a lot of money. And people come and hopefully it creates can you be better than such and such? And that creates the effect that you see over and over and over again. Because, that's why you see people had a certain, and people have certain numbers in certain schools. If you at 7 and you play for LSU, you better be a dog. That's how that goes. So this is the issue. This is the issue a lot of times where, it makes this much money because people want to win. And they're in small towns, in small markets. So they got the lion's share of the income because people don't really come to see basketball like that. Unfortunately, basketball and baseball don't generate as big of a crowd. Now think about it. Schools like North Carolina, Duke, basketball. But you don't think of them as big as Alabama. Kentucky, basketball. But you don't think of them as big as, UT. Because I don't know why, but basketball just doesn't. I think the stadiums are smaller, but they have more games. But I think that's the other issue is because in college football, they don't have that many. Basketball has 20-something games, and college football has like 12 to 14. So even with the being beat in games, the 20 or 30. It's 30. I think they catch up on the revenue because one home game is like for a football team can be 5 home games for a basketball team. Literally, it can be 5. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the stadium, some people hold 15,000, some people hold 20. But if you're at Texas and it's 110,000 people in the stands, and say you go to the basketball stadium facility, it's 12 to 15,000. How many home games you got to sell out to catch up? And they have less players, so it's always interesting. But that's my spiel. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one.
You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna tell you that.